Okay, so have you ever felt that, the magic of music, the way a single note, it can just stir your soul?
It's powerful.
You've always been drawn to the instruments themselves,
Right.
and now you're thinking, what if I could actually build those instruments?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
To take those raw materials and shape them into something that creates art, that channels emotion, that literally resonates with people.
Totally.
It's more than just woodworking. It's about blending craftsmanship with artistry and a deep understanding of music itself.
It really is. It's like you're not just building an instrument, you're building a musician's voice,
Yeah.
translating their style, their sound into a physical object. That's where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
So we dove into some materials from RoleCatcher about becoming a stringed instrument maker, and they talk about the ins and outs of this unique path.
And it is a unique path full of intriguing contradictions.
Yeah.
The source mentions bringing music to life, which sounds, incredibly fulfilling.
Right.
But it also hints at, potential for unstable income in a competitive industry.
Oh, wow.
So right off the bat, we see this balance between passion and pragmatism.
Let's unpack that. So the materials list tasks like sanding, stringing, quality checks, the hands-on work.
Yeah.
But what does that really involve? What kind of skills would you say are essential for this kind of work?
Well, imagine the precision needed to shape wood into the perfect curve of a violin body or a guitar neck. It's not just sanding, it's understand how the wood itself will impact the sound.
Oh, so each piece of wood is unique.
Absolutely. Spruce, maple, mahogany, they all have their own tonal qualities. Knowing which to choose, how to work with its grain, that's where the real craftsmanship comes in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are the tools.
I bet there's some serious skill involved in using those tools, too.
Absolutely. Traditional hand tools like chisels, planes, saws are still essential. But technology is changing the game, too. RoleCatcher even mentions computer-aided design, CAD software being used now.
Wow, it's fascinating to see how technology is changing the game. It's like this beautiful dance between centuries-old traditions and cutting-edge tools. I bet that keeps things exciting, always something new to learn.
Definitely. And that willingness to adapt is essential in a field that's as much about artistry as it is about business. Which brings us back to that unstable income aspect we touched on earlier.
So it's not enough to be a master craftsperson. You have to be a savvy entrepreneur, too.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The source mentions, building a portfolio, networking, even joining professional associations. It's about creating opportunities, not just waiting for them to appear.
I never would have thought of a portfolio for an instrument maker. Isn't that more for visual artists?
It's becoming, increasingly vital in this field. Think about it.
Yeah.
How else do you showcase the intricacies of your inlays, the beauty of the wood you select, the precision of your craft? A portfolio, whether physical or online, becomes your calling card, your way of showing potential clients, this is the quality I offer.
So you're not just selling an instrument, you're selling an experience, a piece of art.
Precisely, and that's where networking comes in. RoleCatcher highlights this aspect as well.
Okay.
You're connecting with musicians, obviously understanding their needs, their sound, but also, suppliers who provide the best tone woods, hardware, and even, other instrument makers.
Oh, that's a relief. For a moment, I imagined a solitary craftsperson toiling away in a workshop alone.
There's definitely a time for that focused individual work, but the source also points out the potential for artistic collaboration, which can be incredibly rewarding. Sharing techniques, brainstorming designs, it enriches the entire process.
Speaking of finding your own path, the source mentions several ways to break into this field. It's got me thinking, is this a career where you learn from a master, or can you be a self-taught virtuoso? What are your thoughts?
That's the beauty of it. There's no one-size-fits-all path. Apprenticeships are the traditional route, learning directly from a master craftsperson, gaining invaluable hands-on experience.
That sounds intense but incredibly rewarding. What about formal education? Are there specific degrees for instrument making?
There isn't always a dedicated degree, but courses in woodworking, fine arts, even business can be incredibly valuable. Understanding design principles, the properties of different materials, even marketing your work, it all contributes to a well-rounded skill set.
So you could go from art school to a woodworking shop to running your own business. It's a very flexible path.
Exactly, and that's what makes this career path so exciting. Your success depends on your individual goals, your learning style, and the niche you want to carve out. But no matter which path you choose, one thing remains constant.
No matter what, it seems like that love for music has got to be the driving force.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what shines through in these RoleCatcher materials. It's not just about the craft, it's about the feeling these instruments they evoke,
Yeah.
you know.
You mentioned job satisfaction as a major pro, but also limited job opportunities as a con. How do those two things, like, how do those balance out for someone considering this career?
It's a question every artist wrestles with, isn't it? That
Mm-hmm.
passion versus pragmatism.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is it's a competitive field, you know, and it might not offer that same financial security as some other careers,
Right.
but for those driven by the work itself, you know,
Okay.
shaping the wood, experimenting with the sound, collaborating with musicians, the satisfaction, it can outweigh those challenges.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where your passion aligns with a sustainable path.
Precisely. And that often involves wearing multiple hats, being willing to hustle, and never stopping learning.
Yeah,
Remember, you're not just building a career, you're building a life you love.
that's a powerful thought. And it really adds a new layer of appreciation when you hear a handcrafted instrument, being played. The passion and dedication poured into every curve and detail.
Absolutely. It transforms the instrument into something more than just an object.
Yeah.
It becomes like the culmination of years of skill, countless hours of work, and a deep, deep love of music. It becomes, as RoleCatcher so aptly puts it, bringing music to life.
And ultimately, isn't that what it's all about? Bringing music to life. So as you consider this incredible journey of, craftsmanship and creativity, ask yourself this. What kind of music do you imagine your instruments creating? What melodies will they inspire? What stories will they tell?
What a great question to leave people with.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll be back next week with another fascinating career path to explore.